You all came highly recommended. You know the rules. No real names, no backstories, no cell phones.
Hello, it's Simon from Film Stories. I'm talking about here, well, it's my review of the new incoming film, probably out by the time you look at this, Abigail. Now, it was only after walking out of a screening of a film that I kind of appreciated just how much of it had been let out of the bag via its promotion and its trailers. I, as a rule, try to avoid watching movie trailers, and in the case of Abigail, I sat down having pretty much no idea what I was going to get. So it wasn't the fact that the trailers give away the ending or anything, it was more the way that the film turns from being the kidnap heist thriller that it started off as into something else, I think that. So I'm not saying this by way of criticism, I just want to explain why this review isn't going anywhere near really the stuff that the trailer gives away. You might have seen the trailer, I didn't, it's kind of up to you. I saw this cold and I had an absolute blast with Abigail. I can't give you an honest reading as to how I'd feel if I'd have known what was round the corner. I did know actually that I was getting some kind of horror tinge to it. It's from the directorial duo of Radio Silence, after all, and as per their birth certificates, they're actually known as Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett. Now, this pair of directors most recently have steered the last two Scream movies, which I didn't massively care for. I had a bit of fun with them. But before that, they made the brilliant Ready or Not. Now, I really did love that, and I was hoping for something a bit close to it, and I got it. So the setup of Abigail then is there's a young girl played here by Alicia Weir who's kidnapped by a disparate crew of people, taken to a house, and then they sit back and wait for the ransom to be paid. Very short film. If the ransom was paid, spoiler, it's not paid. Now, the kidnap at the start is really brutal actually, and as a tone establisher, it suggests early on that the film has little intention of holding back. There's a John Carpenter movie, I don't want to say what it is in case it spoils it for you, where there is a very abrupt act of violence very early in that really destabilises the rest of that film. What you get with Abigail isn't quite at that level, but you still get it. You still get something a little more brutal than you're expecting, I think, and it is destabilising. Not least because the last time I saw Alicia Weir on the big screen, she was singing and dancing as the lead in the most recent Matilda movie. Here, she's doing some more dancing, she's doing a bit of ballet, but then she's been bundled into a vehicle and taken off to a house. But by then shifting the film to a single house, that's the other clue really, apart from the directors, that horror is incoming. If you look at the standard template now of a modern Jason Blumhouse movie, for instance, it's you get a bunch of actors to a single location for a good hour or so of the running time, and you have your fun there. Now, Abigail isn't a Blumhouse film, but it not only gets everyone into a house as per standard horror conventions, it also locks the doors, it brings down the shutters, it primes everyone with booze, and then it takes their mobile phones off them. Let antics commence. So at first, actually, once everyone was in the house, I got early vibes of Drew Goddard's film Bad Times at the El Royale, which is a really underrated movie. Now, Guy Busick and Stephen Shields have written the script to Abigail, and it takes its time to introduce us to the assorted crew that have been brought together for this particular kidnap heist. They don't know each other at the start, but the respective onions of their characters, there's a metaphor for you, gradually peeled back. And to their credit as well, to the credit of the filmmakers, to the credit of the writers, every character gets some space here. The film runs to 109 minutes, including credits. So I wouldn't say it's on the lean side of things. It's certainly nowhere near as slimline as Ready or Not, which I'll come back to shortly. But the trade-off is every one of the crew of 6 gets their moment. They have something. And what fun the actors are having. I get zero impression here that the key performers in Abigail weren't looking forward to making the film from the second they signed on the dotted line to do so. Now, as much as it's Melissa Barrera and Dan Stevens who anchor the ensemble, and they're both in excellent form as well, what really lifts it is the company of actors around them. You get the late Angus Cloud, for instance, as Dean, for instance. He's having a ball here, such a tragic loss. Kevin Durand puts on a fine smile as well and spits out audience-pleasing lines with happy abandon as well. It's really rare with an ensemble cast to say that nobody shortchanges you, but I do think that's the case here. And with a production that took a load of people to a house in Dublin and terrorised them, absolute commitment commitment to what they're doing is not in short supply. Another thing as well, I have a little test with films sometimes. Can I remember the names of the characters like half an hour after I've seen the film? Usually with a film I can remember 2 or 3 of the names at best if it's doing well. I remembered pretty much all of them here, and full credit to the film for just locking them into your head. The film, though, also wouldn't work if it was not for the title character. So let's have a quick chat about Alicia Weir. I mean, good God, for a young performer to demonstrate the range that she has across her two title roles in big studio movies at this stage in her career, it is not to be underestimated. The film would not work if Abigail didn't work. And this is really tricky without spoilers, but Abigail works. And Abigail works, has that. Now, Matt Bettinelli, Olpen and Tyler Gillett, breaking free really of the shackles of the Scream franchise, are resolutely on top of their material here. I really like how they take a leaf early on out of the Die Hard book, actually. If you watch Die Hard, the early stages of that are very cleverly mapping out the geography of the building in which the characters find themselves. They sort of do a similar thing here in the early stages of Abigail. I also admire their patience as well, that they let stuff escalate at a steady pace before they unleash stuff as the thing hits the final act. Abigail, though, I mean, standing next to Ready or Not, what it does lack is a little bit of that film's economy. I thought that the edit of Ready or Not was pretty much vacuum packed. I would have sat through another 10 minutes more of Ready or Not. I wanted more as the credits rolled. In the case of Abigail, probably could have taken 5 minutes less, but then I'm conscious I'm veering towards that territory where people who talk and write about films are trying to tell filmmakers how to make a film. And, well, Matt Bettinelli, Olpen and Tyler Gillett need no help from me there. I would say that Abigail is a significant upgrade on their 2 Scream films. It is as unshackled as they could probably get within a studio environment as well. And I thought Abigail was tremendous fun. I say that with a caveat that I mentioned at the start. I can't tell you how I'd feel if I knew where it was going and if I'd sat there impatiently waiting for it to do the stuff that the trailer tells me that it's going to do. I didn't watch the trailer, so I can't give you that impression. I can give this a very, very happy 4 stars. It's just below Ready or Not. It's above Scream. It's a hoot.